Hey, I'm going to make another tutorial about how to address some images. So, got these two, and super cute. And I'm just going to download them. So let's save this one, and we're going to name it. So the first thing you need to do is start naming and organizing your images. So we'll say suspect claims laundry. And I'm going to call it OG because it's my first version of the image. And then we'll just name this one. We're going to call this Murder Shows. So Murder Shows and Comfy Clothes. OG. Alright. Boom. And now we're going to pull these guys open in Photoshop. So let's, I got a bunch of stuff open. I'm going to close them. Nope. Just close them. Go away. Please, please go away. Oh my gosh. Alright, now you know I've been working a lot. Alright, so here we go. We're going to find that first one. I've just found it in my downloads folder where I downloaded and named it. And I'm going to clean out my downloads folder. That's what I do. I just keep it empty after I've dealt with the artwork and put it somewhere like online or somewhere safe. But just keep your downloads folder empty. And I'm just going to first crop in here so I don't have wasted space and I know my exact dimensions. So let's look at our image size. So this is 766 by 788. So it's about 2.5 inches, and it's pretty good. It's not terrible. I'm going to take it down just a tiny bit. Like that was just a less than 10%, and that's just going to smooth it out a little bit. And then I'm going to export it as a PNG because you don't want to export it. You don't want to export it as a JPEG ever again. You know, it is a JPEG now. It's lost its quality because it is a JPEG. And we never want to export as a JPEG. So now I've just pulled it into Upscale, which is a totally free program. I highly recommend you grab it. Let's make this big. So we're going to go 7x because that's about all I want to pull off. I mean, that's quite a lot of upscaling. 4900 is bigger than my target size, which is going to be 4500. Okay, and I might have gone 6900 if I felt like I had the room, but it just feels it feels like we were getting really tight there. So first thing I'm going to do is turn off contiguous and select the pink. And I'm just going to deselect all the parts that I don't want. So I don't want this. So I'm holding Alt. I have my lasso tool. I'm going to go all the way around this whole thing. I'm just going slow where I need to and going fast where I can. And then I'll just, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and pull that off too. We'll just deal with this separately. I'm just going to deal with the solid pink and then deal with the pink with the black connected. So let's hit Control C, Control Shift V. And now I've got the letters isolated, and they're all different colors. You can see it's all different, but there is kind of a true pink here that we like, and that's this pink right here. So I just kind of picked from the middle where it was a little smoother, and we're just going to do a color overlay. So I picked the color, then I'm going to do blending options, color overlay, and then select that color that I picked from my little swatch spot, and now it's all perfect. See how beautiful it is. Okay, and now let's get this these other parts off. So we'll just grab just this. These two are similar. They're black outlined, you know, so that's how we deal with solid color. And then when we got a black outline, we just do a little bit different piece. So I'm just going to hit Control C, Control Shift V. I've isolated those. I'm going to click here on the background, do a solid color, and pick pure white. And I'll turn these other layers off. So I'll just turn just this one on. Awesome. And I'm going to show you a trick here. You can select here. Okay? And this is not real useful in this image, but it's super useful in some others. So I just selected all the black. And you can keep contiguous on. So you can select here and see how it just went all the way around that image, and then select here, went all the way around that image, okay? Now I can take and hit Control C and then Control Shift V. Okay, and now I've just got the black outlines that were contiguous. Now I can actually use contiguous with it selected and select this white outside and then invert it. A lot of steps there, but it's just a concept. Look at how I've now got this perfect selection. Now I can go back to my background and select it and paste it. And if I turn all my other layers off, I don't need these layers anymore. I'll call this artwork. All right, I'll call this text. And I can turn everything else off, and you can see that I've just got these two pieces. Now let's look at this. Look at this edge. See this edge? We don't want that edge. We don't want that to print. It's going to look like the printer's out of alignment, the DTF printer. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this kind of color right here on this very edge. Okay? And we're going to come up here and we're going to do blending options. And we'll put a stroke on the inside and we'll put it with that color. Okay? Now let's look at that up close. I'm going to bring it in a lot. And I can see it's starting to dip in right here to this green. I hope you all can see that. See it start dipping in there. That's too much. So let's just back it off. All right. And let's look in close at what that's doing. So it's just stroked all the way around. And we can turn it off and see kind of those nasty edges and those color variations. Turn it on and see that smooth edge. So that's really nice. That's a nice touch to do with that black surrounded text. Okay, so now let's just deal with all that we have left, which is our suspect. Okay. I think that I'd like to, I've got color variation in here that I don't need and I don't want. And it just kind of makes artwork look less crisp. So I think I'm going to use contiguous and select all these pinks. And I'm going to pop them off. So let's just grab our background, Control C, Control Shift V. I'm putting this up at the top. So this is my suspect. All right. And I'm going to copy this layer style that we have on the text and paste it. And what that's doing is just making sure those pinks match, and you can see the effect. I mean, it's significant. I like it better flat like that. You might not, Now I'm going to do select, reselect. Okay. And that's selected everything on that layer. I'm going to turn this layer off. I'm coming back to my background. And I'm just going to turn off contiguous so it's really going to go everywhere it sees this black color. And I'm going to hit Shift Select on this black. And now I've got the whole layer. Okay. And we are going to deselect all this stuff at the bottom. So I'm going to grab my lasso tool. And I held Alt and deselected all that. And I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to come up here and hit Control Shift V and paste it. And I'm going to paste that layer style again so that I have that pink. And then come into it and change it to black. Alright. And then we'll turn this on. We'll see if there's any overlap. There's a little bit, there's little places where if I was being a perfectionist, I could clean them up. So I can also, I can just paint on this layer, right? So I can just come here and choose my brush tool. And I can come right in here. I want to make sure I have a hard brush. And I can just paint anything that I see wrong. I can just smooth out that chip. Alright, and I see a little bit of my black poking through, so I'm just going to do blending options, stroke. I'm actually going to do it on, I think I like it on that outside No, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna do outside. We're gonna do this pink. Okay. And then we're just gonna bring it in and just do 1 pixel so that it's just a little bit over that black. And now I can turn this off. These are my suspect layers. I'll call this suspect shadow. Okay. And then I can turn on my other 2 layers. And I've got my completed design on 3 layers. So now I'm going to save my Photoshop document. So I'm going to do File, Save As, and we will call this Suspect Claims Laundry. And then we'll hit Save. And then we're going to do Image Trim, Transparent Pixels. Okay, I'm going to flatten the image. So I'm just going to hit Control E. So everything's flat. It's all in 1 layer. Then I'm going to do image size, 4,500. I'm going to set this to 300, which is weird because it's always going to mess this up here. So I'll just come back to 4,500 up here. Okay. And then I'm going to do layer mask from transparency and image adjustments threshold. Okay. File, export, quick export as PNG. Suspect Claims Laundry, save, and then I'm going to upload that to Google Drive. So we have this cleaned RTP folder, and I'm just going to put it in there. Okay, so there's all the stuff that our team cleans up, and the rest of us, I think, can upload to that too. Like, it's just a free share. So it's up here. Look, here's murder shows. Somebody else is literally doing the same thing, or has already done this one. So not sure what's going on with that. Not sure if I'm making things harder. But, all right, so I'm going to change it. If I modified today, and there is mine and someone else's. So sorry that I'm recreating the work. I'm just going to make sure that that's shared. Anyone with the link, copy it, done. And I'm going to go back here to Facebook, and I'm going to post about it. All right, so here is... I think Molly did this one too. All right. Hey, I hope that helps.